Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Beverly. This is the Dancing Bear Enlightenment Academy's podcast, Holistic Transformation. Today, we will talk about the quantum reset, the Scorpio New Moon, and your body's call to heal. So let me go into share screen. I tried to do this a minute ago, and I had it already set up in full screen, and it didn't work. I don't know why, so we have to switch and then bring it up in full screen. Sorry about that. I don't know why it doesn't just bring up what I want, but so that's how it is. So we're approaching the Scorpio New Moon, which is on November 20th, which is in a few days, 3 days. I record this ahead of time. But the energies are already rippling through your bodies, your emotions, and your lives. So let's explore how this cosmic moment, amplified by a Grand Water Trine and Jupiter retrograde in Cancer, is opening the door to a quantum reset. So we have Neptune and Saturn in Pisces. We have Cancer. I'm sorry, it says it right there, and I just blanked it out. We have Cancer in, we have Cancer, right? We have Jupiter in Cancer. Yeah, sorry. I'm going through this massive brain transition, and I seem to get my words all mixed up. I actually looked it up and found out it's typical when you get to my age that this happens. So just excuse me, maybe for the next year, I'll probably be going through this. Hopefully, it'll be less than a year. But anyway, and then we have planets in Scorpio. So those are three major water signs: Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. So if you have any natal planets there, you can use any software to figure that out. You're going to be heavily affected. So this affects everybody, whether you have water placements or not. But those of us with water placements, I have all kinds of stuff. I have stellium and Scorpio, and I have an ascendant of Cancer. I don't have anything in Pisces, but it's already started to affect me. So if it's affecting me, it might very well be affecting you. So let's explore this moment by the water trine and all the retrogrades and the door that's opening to do a quantum reset. So this is quantum is at the lowest level. That means the DNA level, the cellular level. It is the base that creates our reality and who we are. So we're going to talk about what this means for your health, your energy, and your soul path. So that we'll talk about the cosmic content, then we'll talk about the signs you're already feeling it in. Then we'll talk about the lunar gateway and the body reset. And then, as always, I like to add some holistic tools that you can use for your reset. So the moon in Scorpio is always an invitation to transform, release, and rebirth. So transform is the same as making a change. Release is moving forward from whatever was holding you back. It could have been mental, emotional, physical, or spiritual. And rebirth is how you come out the other end. So Scorpio in medical astrology governs the colon, elimination, the sexual organs, and deep emotional memory. And sometimes those memories are things you've buried, things that you're not even aware of because they're very deep. They could even be ancestral memory. So they're paired with a grand trine of Moon, Jupiter in Cancer, Saturn in Pisces. Neptune's also in Pisces. The Moon is in Scorpio. So we're called to flush this emotional system. Okay, this you can see where my cursor's moving. So we're going to flush that system. So that's our belly brain, okay? Our elimination system is our belly brain, and that's where our emotions hide sometimes. Okay, so Jupiter is retrograde in Cancer. It's ruled by the moon. So it ties the emotional body back to ancestral patterns and childhood root memories, which is what I was mentioning a minute ago. So this combination acts like a soul level detox. So when you eliminate things and transform, you're detoxing. So what are some of the side effects? Fatigue, water retention, bloating, grief waves, or crying just out of nowhere for no reason, digestive resets or colon purging, relationship tensions or reevaluation. Doesn't mean your relationship is bad. It just may mean you need to sit down and have a talk. And if you've been holding on to something, a resentment or whatever, you need to work that out. Because if you don't, it just gets bigger and bigger. And then if you do decide to get therapy, you'll say, well, he or she did this. And then both the therapist and your partner are looking at you like, it's trivial. But yeah, that might have just been the trigger or the last thing that happened, but it's been building for a long time. So it's very important to do these reevaluations every now and then. Just sit down and say, what's on your mind? What's emotionally happening for you? What's going on? And if nothing's going on, okay, you had your chance to speak up. And if there is something going on, this is your time to speak up because you were asked. It's not like you went at somebody. They asked you. So when they ask, you owe it to them to tell them. So you may experience unusual, vivid dreams or insomnia. I know I'm getting both of these. I'm not in a relationship, so I don't have to do this part. And my other relationships right now are pretty good. So this isn't affecting me. This isn't affecting me. For a while, I had this going on, but that's moved on now. Water retention is something I've been dealing with ever since my daughter was born a long time ago. So we're working on that as well. So these are all signs of emotional layers that are being evacuated or transformed. So you want to go with it. Of course, if the elimination purging goes on too long, you can become dehydrated. So make sure you're getting electrolytes and plenty of water. Okay, so the moon controls fluids, tides, lymph, and the parasympathetic nervous system. People get stuck in sympathetic, which is fight or flight. And you're not going to heal, you're not going to purge in that point. So you're going to need to get into parasympathetic. We'll talk about that under the tools section. So this week, your body might be speaking through symptoms. Tightness in the chest from unresolved grief, stomach upset from emotional digestion. Are you eating your feelings? A lot of people who are overweight, I look at someone, if they're overweight, you're looking at someone with childhood trauma, some kind of significant trauma, usually childhood trauma. That's emotional. And people like that tend to eat their feelings because they're too stressed and triggered and affected by their emotions. So bless them and send them loving, healing energy because that's what they need more than anything to move past this. And if that's you, then you need to sit down and feel it. Okay, whatever comes up, feel it, go with it, sit through it, cry if you have to. That's okay. Get upset, whatever, and then forgive whoever it was that hurt you because not forgiving them hurts you, not them. You may also feel pressure in your head, and this is from psychic overwhelm. So you need to have a brain-heart connection. So if you're on psychic overwhelm, you're not connected to your heart. So you may end up here with tightness in your chest. So just keep in mind, these are not problems. There's nothing wrong with you. They're a portal. It's an opportunity. I'm sorry. Excuse me. I'm starting to get the hiccups. I always get the hiccups when I talk. So these are portals. So this is an opportunity to go through that portal and let go of those feelings. Usually water helps. Sorry about that. Okay. So you want to detox the whole physical body. You can do that with a colon cleanse. You can drink warm lemon water, not cold water. You can do skin brushing. You can do Epsom salt baths or foot soaks. And you want to hydrate and soothe the fluid. So you can add some trace minerals to the water. So poor man's trace minerals is you take some sea salt or some Himalayan salt, and I'm talking about like an eighth of a teaspoon, just a pinch, and add that to your water. So I reuse these bottles because they don't recycle glass here. So I'll buy a couple of these blue bottles and I'll fill them with my distilled hydrogen water. And you just add whatever you drink. If you drink out of a quart bottle, or some people use a glass, the smaller the container, the smaller the pinch of salt. But for a big quart like that, you'd use like an eighth of an inch or a big pinch of salt to add the trace minerals to your water. You can also buy trace minerals. So I have some liquid trace minerals that I put in water in the morning. You can also use essential oils like frankincense, one of my favorites, myrrh, a little bit more expensive, or neroli. And if you don't have these essential oils, neroli makes a very nice tea. It's very, very sweet. You don't need to sweeten it at all. And it's wonderful, refreshing. So you can, what do you call it? Diffuse these. If you have a large room, you don't want to do that in a small room. If you have children or pets, and be mindful if you have anything in an aquarium, they don't do well with diffused or any kind of essential oils. But or birds, they don't like diffused essential oils. So in that case, you might want to just open the lid and take a sniff. But you don't want to use these directly on your skin. You'll have to use a carrier oil. Okay, so the lunar nervous system support, you can do breathing exercises. You can do like 4-1-4, inhale for 4, hold, exhale for 4. If 4 is too slow, remember that 4 count is yours. So you may do 7-1-7. So inhale, hold, exhale, hold. Just make it the same amount of number, but just do whole body in, whole body out, deep, deep belly breaths. You can also do kidney 1 on the bottom of your foot. So you can look these up on the internet, or you can just, where the ball of your foot, it's kind of rounded. Well, here, I'll do a stop share for a second. So in the ball of your foot, it kind of has a V at the bottom, and kidney 1 is right under the V. So it's about a third of the way down from underneath the toes. So from here to the bottom of your foot is about another 2/3. So it's 1/3, 2/3, and it's right where the ball of the foot comes up in a V. That's kidney 1. So let me go back to share screen. And let's see if we can get it to go in share screen. No, I hate this. I don't know why it does that. So I have to go to present mode again. Here we go. I need to get back to where I was. Apparently it moved. So sometimes it leaves the present button up on the top. There we go. Okay. So do the kidney 1. The other is liver 3. Should have stayed. Liver 3 is on the foot. It's between the big toe and the second toe. So just go from the web down to where the metatarsals touch each other. So you're just going from the web down, just rub back and forth between the big toe and the second toe, and you'll hit liver. There's a Bafang there, liver 2 and liver 3. So you can hit all 3 points. So either one of those will help you reset the nervous system. And, I should just get out of, here we go. Where's Zoom? Stop share. Oh, I wasn't even in share. Huh. That's interesting. I guess when I did the click, oh well. Hopefully you can see me. I can't tell if you can or not. Oh my goodness. So liver 3, so if you go like this if this is your big toe, this is the second toe, you're just going to be going like this between the 2 metatarsals, like that. Okay, so let's go to, oh, I know what I was going to show you. It's not on the slide, okay? In order to reset the nervous system and get out of sympathetic mode, you want into parasympathetic. You want out of fight or flight. You want to rub this. There's a muscle here, the skinny muscle that lets you turn your neck each way. So if you turn your neck, you'll feel it compressing. Or if you go like that, you'll feel it. You want to go just behind that, and the vagus nerve is right there. So you can rub some lavender here or massage it, or I have a special tool that will reset it. But you want to reset this so that you're no longer in sympathetic mode, but parasympathetic. So you want to get out of fight or flight. So let's try this share again so you can see that. So let's go into full screen, present. Okay, hopefully you can see the full screen now. This is why I usually just use the slides in display mode, because then I know exactly what you see. Hopefully this is working. So journaling, what am I ready to release? What am I ready to release? And it's going to be different for each person. We each have different lives, different experiences. So what you need to release, and it's okay. It doesn't mean you're broken. Just means that whatever you needed to release is going to come up with this particular alignment. You can do forgiveness mantras or even affirmations, and you can cut cords. I don't know why that's bright. So if you don't know how to cut cords, I tell people I don't actually like to cut cords. So it should actually say pull and push your cords. So you want to pull your cords, push them back with love, pull your cords from another person, pull them into you with love, and then reintegrate your energy. That's just a very simple, quick explanation. Some people like to just cut them, but then it's too easy for them to reconnect. That's why I like to push and pull. Okay, so other things you can do is you can meditate with crystals. So I have a bunch here. Let me stop share again. Maybe I shouldn't even do the sharing since I seem to keep going back to don't share. Anyway, you can use, I think obsidian was first. So, okay, I just dropped that one on the floor. Luckily, I have two. So obsidian is a black stone like this, and it may sometimes have a little bit of white in it, but basically it's just a black stone. So darker stones are good. So this is black quartz, or you can have smoky quartz. So either one of those will work for you. I don't think this is on the list, but this is lapis. It's also very dark. It's a dark blue. Blue is actually a very feminine. I know a lot of people say blue is masculine, red is feminine. It's the exact opposite. In the 1950s, so if you're old enough, you remember the 1950s, since I was born in the 40s, I remember the 50s. They switched babies. They took, instead of putting female babies in blue and boy babies in red, they put boy babies in blue and girl babies in pink. And they even made it okay for men to start wearing pink shirts with gray ties and gray suits. So that's when they started this gender dysphoria stuff that's been going on. It actually started in the 50s. So the other stone here, this is fluorite. So fluorite comes in like a dark green, or you can get it in a purple. Let's see, one of these purples looks, this edge here looks more purple. It doesn't show up well on the screen, but it's more of a dark purple. So you can get purple fluorite, green fluorite. This is purple and green fluorite. It comes from China. And then, okay, that was all of them. So let's go back into share screen. Go back to Canva, share. I think because I don't know what you're looking at, I'm going to switch to viewing mode. It's easier to go back and forth. The slides are not as big this way. Let me just, there. That makes them a little bit bigger. And this, make it a little bit bigger. Okay, there you go. We'll do it this way. I know you see the top part, but that's okay. At least I know for sure what you're looking at. So this is, you know what? Did we finish? Oh, no, we didn't. Okay. So dark crystals, obsidian, smoky quartz. So we did a few more than that. So you can also visualize yourself. Boy, I'm doing great today. Visualize yourself shedding your energetic skin. It's the year of the snake. So this is that part of you want to let go. So we all have the energy in Chinese medicine, it's the year of the snake. And whatever year it is, we all have that inner chart. It may not be our year animal, it may not be our month or day animal, but we go through every hour of the day that animal is changing. So we go through all of them, no matter who we are. So at some point, you will have the snake as part of your sign. And of course, if you were born in this year, then you are a snake person, which doesn't make you bad. Snakes are protective and wise. They have a lot to offer us. So we're not talking about a snake that's going to bite you. We're talking about a snake that's helping you heal or educate you. So the snake sheds its skin. Other animals in the sea like Cancer, and we have that Grand Trine that includes Cancer. So you might be a Cancer needing to shed your shell, coming out of your shell if you're a hermit, to stop being a hermit, to be more engaged with the rest of the world. And so you can visualize yourself doing that. So if you felt held back for some reason, or not as abundant, or you're not manifesting what you need, maybe you need to shed something, so that you can just visualize, close your eyes and say, I'm a snake, or I'm a crab, or I'm a whatever, and I shed this outer layer, whatever you want to call it, that's holding me back. And then nightly dream recall. Messages are coming in. Sentence isn't complete, but you know what I'm saying. If you're not a lucid dreamer, keep a dream journal by the bed and set the intention that when you realize you're dreaming, immediately write in the dark. I learned to write in the dark. Okay, it's not going to be pretty, doesn't matter, because when you wake up in the morning, it will remind you of the dream. Then you can write more in the dream journal about what it was. And I always should suggest drawing first. So draw what you saw, because a picture's worth 1,000 words. And once you start using words, you get out of visualization. So words are more auditory, visualization is pictures. So stay in picture mode, drawing. If there's colors, write down the color. And then when you're through, then you can write it up. Or you can go get crayons or colored pencils and color in the images. And that will help you to start remembering. I don't have to keep a dream journal any longer. I'm able to wait till morning, get up and go I have my journal by my desk, and I just sit down and journal. I now remember them. But in the beginning, Probably the first few years. That was back in the 90s. I kept a dream journal next to my bed. So that will help you to recall your dreams, because your dreams are symbolic. The symbols are for you. What does each thing in the dream that you recall trigger as to what does it mean for you? For example, I had a dream decades ago where there was this man showing me around this big building full of rooms. So he was in and out of these different rooms. So I asked friends, what does that mean? And I met the man later. In the dream, I didn't know who it was, but I actually had an appointment with him. And later that week, he was a doctor. And I was interested in seeing if he used, he worked with people with headaches. And I was interested in seeing if he would refer people to me, but he already had a hypnotherapist he worked with. And that was okay. But I asked friends who were also into metaphysics, what does that mean, a big building with rooms? And everyone told me it means you're sick. Building means it's your house. Decades later, I go to medical school and I'm doing pre-med first. While doing the pre-med, I'm doing volunteer work in oncology at the local hospital across the street from the school I was going to. And I went, oh gosh, the building he was showing me was the hospital and the different rooms in the hospital. It didn't mean I was sick. It didn't mean a house. So that's why you can't go by what other people tell you. You may even do a search of some kind, and you may still get the wrong answer. What does that mean to you? Well, I should have put two and two together, a big building with rooms, and I'm going to meet a doctor. When I figured out he was the doctor in my dream, I just went, oh, maybe it was a hospital, because he also worked in the hospital. I got his name from the hospital. I called the hospital. I'm looking for doctors that are open to metaphysical and alternative healing. And she gave me his name. I didn't put two and two together because I was so shocked at meeting someone who I'd seen in my dream. And it took decades later when I'm doing volunteer work. So that's why journaling helps. So you can write it down and then kind of just look at what you wrote down and try and figure out the connections. What did that mean versus what's going on in your life? What are the symbols in your life? And what might that possibly mean? So I'd been in, I was in Silicon Valley. I was a consultant in the computer area in high tech. And I was switching because I was now doing hypnotherapy and shamanic healing and energy healing. I should have put two and two together. I was going to something new. What was it about that something new that I needed to know? So that's what I learned from that, was to do your journal and then sit back and say, what is this about? What's going on in my life that might be connected to this symbol? And that's how you can figure out what the messages are, because then you might figure out, oh, I got a download with that. This is what that means. When you get downloads, you don't know what it means in the moment. But you will suddenly be talking or reading, and all of a sudden you realize you know something. How on earth do you know that? It was from a download. But if you do the journal and the remembering, it will come back to you. And you'll say, oh, that's what that was about. Okay, so this is not a breakdown, it's a breakthrough. You are not broken. You are just releasing. You're doing a little more shadow work. You're letting things go so that they don't hold you back. Because over the next couple of years, all of humanity, each of us, is going through a massive transformation. And I know you've heard a lot of people say there's going to be a split. There are people that are going to transform and go with the light, and there are people who are choosing a darker path and they will stay with the earth and have to deal with these earth changes. Some people see a lot of these earth changes and they have these negative projections. I don't even listen to that stuff. Okay. I just turn that off, because you don't even want to think about that, because the rest of us, we're not going to experience that. Okay, we're going this way. So I just don't even listen to that kind of stuff. I don't want any of that negativity. It just lead you to be in fear and lower your frequency. You want your vibration to be high, so stay with the light. Allow the water of this Grand Trine and New Moon to wash away what no longer serves you. Just let it go. Forgive. You don't need to carry that around anymore. It isn't helping you. Being mad at someone, being upset about anything, no matter how awful, doesn't help you. That's why I stopped listening to the news years ago. I know what's going on, but there's some podcasts I'll listen, to the title, or I'll listen to the first 30 seconds, and then it's off. I'm not going to dwell on it. I just, okay, this is what's going on. I let it go. So you want to breathe, soften and surrender. And you can soften with those foot baths, Epsom salt baths, some essential oils, using sniffing frankincense or diffusing it, or putting lavender on your body. Lavender does everything that any essential oil does, but it's just not strong. It's very, very mild. And surrender is just letting go. It's saying, I'm not going to carry this around. I'm just going to say, thank you for the lessons, and I give it back to you, Source. So you're not being punished, you're being purified. Okay, so it really helps the channel when you like and subscribe. I read all the comments. Thank you for those of you who have commented lately. And if this resonated with you, if you would be kind enough to share it, I would appreciate it. And remember, Om for Success is a free program. It's a 30-day meditation challenge that helps you get anchored in the 4 elements: earth, air, water, fire. But there's 5 elements. And to do the 5th element, you need to combine how you do the first 4. So it teaches you how to do these types of meditations. There's all kinds of different meditations. So you learn how to master all 4 types and when to use them. And when you know that, then you can do the 5th element, which is ascension. There's a free energy system, Diamond Source Light. If you go there, it does not do cookies. It doesn't collect your information. It's completely free. You don't need a download. Unless you want one, you can contact me. I give the downloads away for free. This was given to me for free in 2020. And if you'd like a medical astrology reading, you can reach me here. And in general, you can find me at Dr. Beverly Lawrence. And Dancing Bear Enlightenment Academy.com is like my Academy overview, and I have an app, so you can go to the smartphone app, and there's a web version of the app. So let's do a stop share. So in closing, thank you for joining us, and remember to be the light you want to see in the world.